There's no perfect truck. Don't let any reviewer or any salesman tell you that there's one truck that's absolutely perfect. A lot of people try to do that with Indy, but then there's a lot of people that try Indies and they really don't like them. Everybody skates different, so nobody's gonna be able to make a truck that just makes everybody happy. They're all different. You have to try them out. You just have to go through it. You have to go through the truck madness. Sometimes you can switch trucks to another truck and instantly you're skating better. So for me, Thunders are lighter. They're more technical. I feel like more tech skaters skate them. The hanger is not as beefy and it does grind down faster. I feel like the hanger doesn't grind as good on street ledges, on rough stuff, but I do feel like the hanger on Thunders locks in better on coping and skates better at a skate park. I feel like people who skate Thunders are really refined. Park skaters, contest skaters, people like Nyjah, Jamie Foy. I think Thunder has a really good pinch on coping and on ledges. They're really good for crooks and stuff like that. They hold on to the ledge good, but sometimes they hold on a little too good, and sometimes with crooks I get stuck and I can't pop off. The base plate on Thunders, it doesn't stick out as much, so with blunt slides, you're not sliding on the actual base plate, you're sliding on the wheels. Also with nose slides and tail slides, you're sliding on the wheels. A lot of people don't like that, it stops them. They can't do tail slides, they can't do nose slides as good, but some people really do like that. Some people prefer to slide on the wheels because they feel more locked in and secure. On a lot of other trucks like Ace, Indy, Slappy, stuff like that, you're grinding on the base plate when you're doing nose slides and blunt slides. Also, Thunders push the wheelbase out a little more so you get a quicker pop. The nose and tail are smaller and the wheelbase is longer. Venture Lows have an actual longer wheelbase than Thunders, but everything else has a shorter wheelbase. Slappies are about the same. Slappies are like in between Thunders and Indies. Alright, so Indies, they got a big chunky hanger. They grind better on street ledges, but I feel like when you first get them, they don't lock in as good on coping, and they don't have quite as good a pinch as Thunders. They last longer, they're really tough, built for life, especially the Indy Mid. The Indy Mid has a really beefy, heavy hanger. The hanger on the Indy Mid is lower, but it actually has more beef and more girth to it. Like the axle's lower, but the hanger's thicker. They use the same base plate. The Forge base plates are going to be a little thinner and make the truck a little lower. So the Indy Mids are lower than the Indy Standard. The Indy Mids are the same height as Thunders. Thunders are kind of low. Even though they're called Thunder Highs, they're still really low. So Thunders are 50 millimeters tall and the Indy Mids are 50 millimeters tall, but the Indy Standards are 55 millimeters tall. So even though the Thunders say tall, they're pretty short, shorter than basically anything else. They used to make Thunder Lows, and they don't make those anymore. They make the team truck and just like pro trucks. Like the Thunder High is the only truck you can get. I like the just polished regular one, but there's other trucks that I like better these days. So certain tricks are going to be easier on Indies, other tricks are going to be easier on Thunders. For me, 360 flips are easier on Indies because it has a shorter wheelbase, spins around quicker. So Thunders are better for fakey tricks for me, like half cab flips, because they're lower to the ground, quicker response, like less turny, more controlled. I have more control on them. That's probably because I grew up skating Thunders. When I was growing up, it was either Indy or Thunder. Nowadays, there's lots of different truck companies to compete. We've got Ace, which I don't even want to get into. We've got Slappy. We've got Grind King. I've got videos on all these big truck companies reviewing their trucks, skating them. In a text message, Ben DeGrow told me Slappies were kind of like Ventures that look like Ace. So they're cool looking, like Ace. People think Ace trucks look cool, but they skate with a lot of control, like Ventures. That was my first thought when I skated the Grind King lockers. I thought, they feel like Venture Highs. I feel like Thunders feel more like the Venture Lows. Venture Lows are like very controlled. I've had some, I've had Venture Highs. They're good trucks, honestly. Everybody's got a different opinion. on every truck. Everybody skates different. If you haven't tried the Grind King lockers or Slappy trucks or the low Slappies, try them out because they're totally different. They all feel totally different. Now, if you're not very perceptive, you might not be able to notice the difference, but if you've been skating for a while, I think you'd notice. So like the Grind King lockers, they came out recently. They're probably the best truck for learning how to do 50/50s on round rails and for skating coping. But they're super tall. They don't get wheel bite. There's always some kind of drawback. Like some people are just not going to be able to skate them because they can't skate something that's super tall. I mean, they're not super tall, more like Indy standards. Some people are just going to be used to like a Thunder truck height. It's hard to relearn all that muscle memory. Gear madness is a thing, and some people say, hey, just don't worry about it. You know, just skate whatever you got. But there are definitely times where I'm skating really bad and I switch my setup and I'm skating better instantly. If there was a time in your past that you skated better, maybe you were skating a 7.5 inch board and now you're not skating very good. Maybe your board back then had a shorter wheelbase. Maybe that's what you were used to. Maybe that's what you learned your muscle memory on. Go back to that, try it out. Just buy a 7.5 board and whatever trucks you skated back then, whatever wheels, skate it for a second and see if you actually can skate like you used to, because it could be the gear. Maybe it's just you, maybe you're not as good as you used to, maybe you're fat, maybe you're out of practice, but it actually could be the gear. That's all I've got to say. Subscribe for more detailed videos about skateboarding. I do reviews, I do tutorials, just stuff like this. Watch my shorts, they're fun. I kind of turned into like a reaction channel in the shorts, because I've never seen anybody doing that. I've never seen anybody doing the green screen stuff on skateboarding videos. I've seen them on cat videos, I've seen them on sports, but never on skateboarding. I have other reaction channels about other things, so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna bring that to skateboarding too, and it really worked. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Scroll through my channel, check out my other videos, hit the subscribe button, and thanks for watching.